It's day 166 of the self-quarantine today here in Los Angeles. Now, the heat wave is still raging on, but it's not too bad. It's hot as hell in the daytime, but then it cools down in the evening, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I just hope that this is the weather that will continue until the end of summer. I don't mind suffering through the heat in the daytime, but knowing that in the evening I can actually sleep comfortable and there's this nice cool breeze coming in from my window. So hopefully that's the case. Now, regarding the coronavirus here in Los Angeles, the news so far is actually positive. The numbers of cases, hospitalizations, and deaths continue to go down, and that is actually a good thing. And hopefully that will be the case. But that means that Angelinos are doing the simple things right. They're wearing a mask, they're keeping social distancing, they're washing their hands for 20 seconds, they are making sure that they're disinfecting everything around their area. So it's really good right now, the situation that we are living in LA. And hopefully it continues, and that is maybe a glimmer of hope of better things to come, because I don't want to be living in a city that we're the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in the state of California, because that still remains to be true. So hopefully we continue the work, we don't slow down, and that we continue on making sure that we have a good control of this virus from spreading out of control. So that's what's going on right now in Los Angeles. Something very important that I also wanted to add to this video, so important that I wanted to give it its own time slot. It's an incident that happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that involved a black man by the name of Jacob Blake. It was so big of an impact that it sparked protest here in Los Angeles. For the past 2 days, there have been 100 to 200 protesters led by the Black Lives Matter movement protesting in front of the LAPD headquarters demanding justice for Jacob Blake. So what happened in this incident? I'm going to do my best to summarize it with the information that I've gotten so far from all the news media that I've read so far. So a couple of days ago in Kenosha, this black man, Jacob Blake, was in front of his car. His kids were in the back seat, and he was stopped by police. And Jacob Blake had a criminal history. That's why the police wanted to stop him and question him. That was the police take from it. And he wasn't being compliant. He wasn't obeying the officer's orders. So he was on one side of the car. So he started walking away from the officers, heading to the direction of the driver's side of the car. While at the same time, the police have their guns pointed at him and drawn at him while he's walking away from police. The minute Jacob Blake goes to the driver's side of the car, opens the door, reaches out for something, he gets shot 7 times in the back while his children are watching this whole incident in the back seat of that same car. Also at the same time, neighbors and other witnesses are witnessing this incident unfold before their very eyes, and then 2 people are recording this incident with their smartphones in 2 different angles, and they immediately put it on social media, and it went viral, and it sparked protest, shock, and horror, and they wanted to demand justice. And then Kenosha basically became almost like a war zone. It went from protest to rioting to looting to arson, and then the police, the National Guard, and federal troops were sent there to have everything under control. The next day, the family of Jacob Blake, the Blake family, are asking for justice. And they also gave an update of Jacob Blake. He's alive, miraculously. However, the doctors say that those 7 shots that were on his back unfortunately shattered his spinal cord, and he will now be, unfortunately, paralyzed from the waist down. So the family is asking for justice, but also they're advocating for peaceful protest, that the looting, the rioting does not reflect the values of Jacob Blake and his family. And because of that, all over the United States, there have been protests led by the Black Lives Matter movement. It's almost similar to the incident that happened with George Floyd, where we saw the video. It sparked outrage. We saw kind of police brutality at that very moment, and everybody is in shock. It was so bad of a shock that 4 sports organizations canceled their games, all the games. The NBA, and mind you, the NBA have playoffs going on at this very moment, but they canceled it. Never before has it happened. The WNBA also didn't play any games. The MLB, Major League Baseball, canceled their games, and Major League Soccer also canceled all other games except one. So the athletes are now using the platform of sports to advocate, saying Black Lives Matter, enough is enough, that there is something desperately wrong in this country. And that's the situation that we're living in at this very moment. It's so chaotic. It's not enough that we're living in a pandemic, but now we are actually seeing more clearly that there is some systematic racism happening in this country. All I can say that I agree. Enough is enough. This is tiring. This is depressing. Change has to happen immediately. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. But all we can do is we have to pray. We have to work together. Everyone, from every race, from every creed, from every religion, we have to band together just to do our best. And unfortunately, these are unsafe times right now in the United States and also in Los Angeles. So that is it for today's video. So everyone, stay strong, stay safe.